Hey, what's going on, guys? Gui here. Finally, I'd like to introduce the very first public release of my Wukong JS engine, which is the JavaScript port of Wukong written in C programming language. But this version is kind of the something that I'm supposed to be maintaining further on, while this so the JavaScript version is something that I'm supposed to be maintaining further on, while the C version is already dropped for about a couple of months ago. So first, let me probably just demonstrate what it can do basically, and then we'll quickly walk through the project notes basically to give you an idea of what this all is about. So we can play chess as you might have expected. Every single line of code here is written by me, so this is absolutely original code here, and the GUI, I made the GUI on my own as well. So we can undo moves and then we can make them again, regardless either this is from the computer side or from the player side. So we can flip the board. We can play for black as well, not only for whites. Okay, and we can switch the pace to promote to. We can change the thinking time, so now it would be thinking for up to 4 seconds. And also, if we just open the console, we can see how the engine is calculating basically. So not only seeing the principal variation that was obtained at the very end, but also the process of the iterative, so-called iterative deepening. So unfortunately I have this disabled cache, so it's kind of uploading every time. That's the reason why the board is blinking within this mode. I think if I just disable, if I get away from the get rid of this, it should be, or just Blender Night, right? Now it should be, yeah, now it's not blinking because I had this disabled cache. Okay, now Blunder the Queen. Okay, so you just trust me that it is capable of mating you. So I've implemented the game state detection, like this might be either a 3-fold repetition or 50-fold move repetition draw, or checkmate or stalemate, so all those, or insufficient material as well, something that I've never been doing in my previous engines because I just didn't really see much sense in that. But in this one, I decided to walk through all of that, through all the process. Also, we can set a custom FEN. So here I'm just providing a custom FEN string. So we'll start kind of, yeah. By the way, we can start a new game by simply clicking this new button, and this is just a random FEN string to set as the initial board position, so you can start playing from whatever FEN, basically like this. So I hope that's clear as well. And yeah, you can specify your own FEN here as well. Sorry guys, just can't see the principal variation. Yeah, now this should be a bit better. Okay, just need to place it to the proper cell, not in between. Okay, so this was the browser mode, but it doesn't only Wukong can be played via UCI mode as well. So UCI mode is the console mode, in other words. So we can use Nodejs in order to actually make it playing versus other engines. So if I just start my arena here, and yeah, right over in here, I just want to point out to how this engine can be installed as the UCI engine. So in Arena, we go to Engines Manage, regardless from the operating system. I'm on Linux, but on Windows, Arena should look like exactly the same. And if we go to Details, so I just click this Create New Engine button here, and all you need to do is specify like name, author. Well, it should be fetched from the engine itself, but in my Arena, for some reason, I need to specify this manually. And these two fields are absolutely essential. So in order to run this JavaScript code, we need Nodejs. So for those of you who's not aware of what Nodejs is, if you just go to nodejs.org, it's basically a JavaScript interpreter which supports probably some well, it's not well, it supports some sort of a pre-compiled stuff, I believe, because it works quite pretty fast. So I'm on Linux, that's why it redirected me to the Linux download. But if you go here and if you're in Windows or whatever operating system, this should give you a proper version of Node.js. So just click it, then you download the binary executable. Well, actually, I just want to show you my downloads. So yeah, here is the folder of Node.js, and within the bin folder, we have this single executable. So we need to take this path, so where this binary executable is located, basically, and we need to specify it as if this was an engine. As if this was an engine executable. So I'm pointing to this Node.js. Okay, and then command line parameters, because bearing in mind the fact that if we actually want to sorry guys, let me just yeah, probably, oh, okay, just okay, I've already dropped this, so let me just quickly clone this, yeah, because otherwise it won't be working really. So hold on guys, just I thought I had that, but it seems like I didn't. So clone. You can just simply click the download button here. Here is the project, the GitHub repo. We can just click this download zip here, or here is the instruction on how to run this in UCI mode. So you can click this link and it would instantly download the zip file there. So I hope that's clear. All the links would be down below the video as always. So just wanted to show you how this stuff works outside of Arena GUI. So we just open the terminal in the current working directory and simply type in Node.js. Well, here I'm using my system-wide, my Node.js that is installed system-wide, while in Arena I'm using a newer and used Node.js basically, but that doesn't really matter that much. So if I just say Node.js, Wukong.js, we just fall into UCI mode, so we can send UCI commands here. So UCI is ready, let's say position, start, pause, and we start in the new game, and we just say go, let's say white time 1 second left, black time 1 second left. Okay, okay, probably didn't really work out those timing bugs, not all of those. So let me just try this again. Let's better try position, start, pause, and go depth. Let's say go move time 1 second, like this, and it just starts searching and gives the best move at the very end. Yeah, I really need to fix to have a look at why. So what's happening if only once of less than 1 second level? Forget that. Okay, so here so the first, as I was already mentioning, the first path points to Node.js, okay, and the second, the command line argument. So by saying command line argument, this is what I mean. So oh my god, oh man. So this is what is known as a command line argument here. So we're just running the console application and passing a file as a parameter in case of Node.js. That's the JavaScript file to execute code from, basically. Well, in future, I will probably separate the UCI interface from the engine itself, because engine provides some public API, which I'm going to be covering a little bit later on within this video. But for now, it runs like this. If any installation nodes would be different, I will leave them in the repository page here. So maybe just path would be a little bit different, like not to Wukong JS, but to say to UCI.js or to run.js, no matter how I call it. So we need the path to Node.js and the path to JavaScript file that we're about to execute there. So the path to the JavaScript file finally is right over in here. So here I'm just okay. Hold on a sec. Where is my home? Oh, hold on a sec. This is the logo. Yeah, command line parameter is here. Command line parameter is here. Yeah, this was just a logo. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, so we just apply this. Okay, and now it should be alive. I'm not sure regarding the level. Probably it's yeah, 2-minute blitz, 1 second increment at the moment. So let's try. I don't know. In my side, it's a little bit laggy to start. I don't know. Probably takes time to start Node.js or something. I don't know. Yeah, and now it plays with an opening book. So let me just disable the opening book to show the how it plays from the very first move. Okay, so engine starts calculating already now. The score would output the score. Okay, good. So here we go, basically. Yeah. Okay. So it's quite pretty, like playing chess, nothing much here. Okay. And obviously it also can play versus itself. So if I just go to demo mode, it would be playing versus itself. Yeah, by the way, this nice avatar is available as well, which is a good idea, I think. And obviously you can run it versus other engines, but again, like at the moment it's very weak. It's only for about 1400 L points, because I didn't yet work on the strength itself. I was working on interfaces and the code rather than on the plain strength. So in the following in the newer releases, the plain strength should be much better. So we've just seen two sort of modes, two main modes of how WukongJS may play chess, basically. So this one, own GUI, and another one was the UCI protocols. So this is it regarding for users, but for programmers, the interesting part only begins now. So please welcome. So let's have a look. Well, well, probably let me quickly walk through the project goals, because it would be easier to understand like what did I try to achieve in order to evaluate the result we currently have. So first of all, I was trying to make a chess engine with a code that is extremely easy to understand, and if you just have a look at the source code, so it's quite pretty. It uses very simple concepts. It has quite pretty lots of commentaries, so you could have walked through the code and follow the control flow to see how things work. I made lots of refactoring, say for this square attack function to remove unnecessary duplications. So I think this code is quite pretty clean enough, at least, to understand some meaningful variable names. So you just start reading this code. I think it won't be really that difficult to figure out, to realize on how it works. And regarding the overall architecture that I'm really proud of, so the entire engine lives within this function scope. Yeah, by the way, we can override the appearance of the chessboard, which I was showing once, I believe. Maybe I should have showed this one more time. Okay, so yeah, let's go down. So here we have yeah, just let's drop UCI mode for a while. So here we have the public API. So all of these methods can reference the internal methods of a chess engine, and you can make use of them. Well, I will just now show you a couple of methods just to give you an idea like what you can do with this. It's still pretty raw. Many functions not validating the, well, actually literally none of them actually validates the user input, which is probably not that great, but I made this for my own use. So for my own use, this was literally enough. And I was using, so this sort of an API, I didn't take it from my head just to provide it. Nope. All these functions are used either by the UCI mode or by the browser mode. So we'll come to the browser mode just right in the moment. And before this, let me introduce the UCI mode. So it starts here. So we just, so this engine distinguishes between two modes, kind of like browser mode. So every time we have the document object, and every time we have this kind of exports object for Nodejs. So if you just have a look at, let's say, search position function, then here is how it's been distinguished. So if we are in the GUI, then we're doing something with the GUI score here, here, right? Also, functions like draw board and update board are only used within the GUI, so only in the browser mode. They're not working in the console mode, obviously. So this, let's say this function, these two functions, like so yeah, here we have some appearance for light square, dark square, cell width, some appearance and parameters regarding the appearance. So here the board is an HTML table, maybe not the most outrageous board representation in the world, but at least it works. Function to move piece in the GUI. So and yeah, let's go back to public API. So here are all the functions that are used either by HTML page that actually allows us to see this sort of a picture and play chess, or by the external GUI like Arena that runs the engine in the UCI mode. So all these functions are used. I will now quickly demonstrate a couple of those to see how they work. And here is the UCI mode. So later on, assuming that I would really love to make it possible to embed this engine as the third-party library into someone else's projects, it would be better to make like module exports as it's done in Nodejs. At the moment, this sort of a functionality is not available, so the only way to play around with this API is just within the engine file, within the engine source file as well. And in that case, you would most likely need to disable the entire UCI module. So that's very inconvenient stuff. So probably the very next thing I'm about to be doing is just trying to separate this UCI part into a different file. So yeah, most likely I'll probably change this how to play in the UCI mode. So the link would just be the different link. So like from the installation perspective, it's all about the same. Just the link would be different, not to the engine file, but to some file that would be importing engine as a module and working with it. So that's how I intend that to be done, basically. Okay. So it uses the readline library to create a basic command line interface, and every time we're listening on the std in standard input, every time we're getting something from there, we just responding, reacting respectively. And two main functions, we either parse in the position, so the input to initialize the board state to the proper position, because UCI is game state independent protocol, so we just give it a list of moves, so it's kind of like a PGN, you might say, but without some PGN format. It's just the bare list of moves to initialize. So we're loading those moves into our chess engine and getting the position to evaluate the best move for. And then we just running the go command, which either specifies the fixed depth or some time control, some whatever timing we want. And at the very end, our engine outputs the best move, and that best move is made on the chessboard in the GUI, let's say like Arena. When it comes to the web-based interface, I'm not using the UCI protocol here because implementing UCI protocol within the GUI is a bit of a pain itself, also assuming that this is not a non-blocking but instead a blocking mode. So it's the only thread for both for GUI and for the chess engine, which might not be really the best ever solution, but I think this is just enough for me, so it's not a big deal basically. So here in the GUI I didn't really use these UCI commands, but I was reusing some API functions as well. So by saying all this stuff, I just want to say that using API via Node.js is not a good idea at the moment. It would be a good idea when I will provide a proper module exporting there. In that case, that would be a really good idea to play around with. And I will probably make a video series on maybe I would be grouping these functions. So just to provide some tutorials, giving an idea of how to make use of these functions. And now let me just very quickly show you how they might be working with the current engine. So if I just open my developer tools, well, usually we'll need to create a new instance of an engine like I'm doing here, and I'm doing exactly the same within the GUI. By the way, yes, now already time to have a look at the GUI code. So here is the HTML document that draws this sort of a picture. No, sorry, not here. And it also has some JavaScript in it, so I'm binding the on-click, on drag and drop events here, and some move validation is being involved, so functions to set FEN, start new game, take move back, flip board. So all these functions, all these buttons has some specific callback functions to fire when the button click event occurs basically. And all along the way I'm using this, you see, like engine.get50, engine.isMaterial engine. So I'm using this engine object to interact with in order to get in order to make use of that API. So yeah, let's go for a small demonstration. So let's clear the console. And well, first of all, if we just simply type engine here, then we have an object returned by this engine function, and all the constants on the one hand and all the functions on the other hand are available here as an output. Well, obviously no documentation or something here yet. Well, probably there won't be documentation because that takes all the fun away from chess programming. But anyway, I think that the names are quite pretty self-explanatory. So let me just try to show you a couple of features. So, well, let's say we have this board. So what happens when we click on this new button? So let's just want to give you a quick idea. So this new button, click. So we just so this is what happens basically. Copy. I'm just wondering, I didn't even update the board. Oh, that's because it's done automatically. So let's so we already have this engine instance, so now it should start a new game. Okay, and it does start a new game. Good. So let's say we make a couple of moves. So let's say we want to take some moves back. So what take back does, so this is what it does. Copy, and you can just paste the stuff in. Well, its indentation is not the best ever, but So we just take back, actually pops the move from the move stack, and draw board and update board refreshes the GUI version of Chessboard. And also additionally to this, we can also say engine.print board if we want to see the Unicode representation of the chessboard. So you see, like we kind of like taking the moves back one by one. So here is the kind of board for debugging. This is the GUI one. So this is what we can do. Another thing that we can do, well, let's say, let's again like start with the starting position. We can do some perf testing. So perf is a function that is used in order to make sure that your move generator in your chess engine is bug free. In Wukong, perf is quite pretty slow compared to the one that is used in compared to the engines written in C, and even to the engines, some faster engines written in JavaScript. But that's because of well, code simplicity, and you know, like speed and strength is always a trade-off. So anyway, if we just say engine.perf, and let's say go to perf depth 4. Excuse me, oh, just typo here, perf like this. It starts the perf test and calculates, hold on a sec, let's run result here. Maybe something was wrong with the board state. Just want to run the perf again. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, the board state will just malform. When we're running perf, we need to make sure that kind of like setting up the board. And well, actually I just want to make sure. So if I just start to this and run, oh, I just didn't reset the nodes. Oh, it's probably that was probably the reason. Yeah, okay, just need to fix that as well. Now it would be correct. Yeah. So if I just run this again, it doesn't restore the nodes. So yeah, I need to restore the nodes every time I'm running perf test. Okay, let me just do this quickly. Okay, let's go into the perf test, and like this. Now this should be always the same result. Still not. Whoa. This is a bit strange. Well, I really need to dive into this in greater details. So at very least, it seems to be working correctly for the very first time. And if we set well, let's set up this FEN. Let's actually update the board, set this FEN, and try to run perf for this position. Yeah, at least for the first time it writes correct results. Well, it's not because the move generator is doing something wrong, it's because I'm not updating the nodes. Yeah. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Yeah, just okay, guys. I just realized that I really need to check a couple more things. Was it 603 or 609? No, it was 603. Come on. Yeah. Well. Anyway. Yeah, I really need to check that out. Okay. Okay. So. What else? Well, you can just try to play around with these functions from the API on your own. Yeah, I just realized that API is not really kind of ready at the moment. I really need to probably writing some tests to make sure that all the variables are getting updated. The way I was using those functions just during the development progress, well, obviously I was updating everything by hand every time running some sort of a specific test, but I didn't yet test it for like if a developer like from the outside would be trying to tinker around with this code. Okay. So easy to understand code, minimalist design. Well, that's from how the chess engine architecture is done perspective. Reaching the maximal number of users, well, that's the reason for considering JavaScript, because you can just run this within your browser, where it's simple and straightforward, so like blind browser play. But also at the same time we can play via the UCI. Well, still need to work with this reusable API. Well, mimic aggressive tactical style of there is a chess engine called Fritz by Chessbase, which is a commercial chess engine, and from versions say from 5 to 12, it was completely different engine compared to what they have now, called Fritz. And for those of you who has been ever playing with this Fritz, and you just try to have a look at the playing style of Wukong, probably some sort of similarities would come in your mind, I hope. And yeah, learn term, playground for relative strength improvement. So this is something, this is somewhat of the one of the main goals that I'm setting up for my own self, because I'm kind of too noob and too dumb to compete with 3000 LO plus chess engines. Just too dumb really for that. So I consider this a relative strength improvement. So how better I can make. It's not even about the playing strength all the time. It might be about kind of like improving the code itself and things like that. So playing strength very weak at the moment. Yeah, so I will ask the guy from CCRL to test the version when it would be a little bit stronger. Play in line is what you've just seen here. By the way, this is the official logo for Wukong chess engine, and this is Sunakun, the character whose name is given to the chess engine, the Monkey King. That's why I call myself Code Monkey King, referencing this guy. So playing UCI mode instructions already walked through. Some technical details for programmers might be interested in. And regarding the public API, I'm just showing the general architecture of how the entire chess engine looks like. Like this is the it lives within the function scope, and then it just returns the object with this sort of an API, something that I've already shown you in the browser. And this is how you can play around with the API functions. Well, I've just realized that I really need to work with those API functions, because yeah, it gives quite pretty weird results at the moment. So the easiest way to test API is to open the browser, just what I'm showing you. And what I've already mentioned, that it doesn't export the module to be reusable via Nodejs yet. I'm gonna be doing this next. Okay, yeah, and this is the link to the GUI source. Well, quite pretty far from the state where I can claim that it's gonna production ready. It's very funny to say this word production for like personal projects like this one. But anyway, okay guys, so I think this is it from my side. So feel free to play around with Wukong. I need just to test out a couple of things, and when the API would be brought to the state when it would actually be kind of like reusable by other programmers but me, in that case I will probably make a little video series on highlighting the most interesting or most reusable methods from that public API. Okay, this is it from my side, and until the next time, and take care.